it's really interesting if you listen to this. You'll see something inside here. If you're there, say amen. Amen. All right, Acts 13:36. For David, after he had served his own generation, by the will of God, fell asleep, was buried with his fathers, and saw corruption. So when David finished his assignment to his generation, according to the will of God for his life, he died. And that is how we want our lives to be described. When Jason finished the will of God for his generation, then Jason came to heaven. When Akrofi finished the will of God for his generation, then Akrofi came to heaven. You see, we each have a specific time and a specific place to do God's plan for our lives, and that plan fits into his universal plan, which is eternal. God has this huge plan that's big and bigger than all of us, and each of us has this little piece that has to fit into 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, 100 years, 120, where somebody from the generation before passes a baton across to us, and we gotta run that race for our 120 years and pass it on to the next person. And if you look back in history, you'll realize many of the roles that were played in history were played by different people in each generation. Somebody was the Apostle Paul 100 years ago. There was an apostle. Somebody on this earth right now is taking the gospel to the Gentiles, getting the gospel outside of the regular church crowd and getting it into the world. Somebody's doing that right now. There's a Peter who will say whatever right now, who ain't scared. Punk, get off me. There's a Peter with that kind of attitude who's out there taking the gospel into the roughest areas. The fisherman type. He ain't cultured, but he real. Every generation, there's that Dorcas who's helping people in the community, who's taking care of business, that if she dies, everybody cries. Man, this is what she did for me. This is what she did for me. That's you for that generation. And you gotta know, for my generation, what did God call me to do? Because if you read in Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun. There's no brand new role that you originated that ends with you. Ain't nothing brand new. You ain't specific. No, I'm special. You ain't not special. You ain't not special.
Hi, I'm Kamisha, and I just had my first session at the second session of the Body Bible study, and I just had a really great time just listening to more encouragement of just walking out your purpose and your destiny and your calling, and also continuing to ask the Lord about it. And so some of the things that really hit my heart was remembering that I'm not a copy, and it's okay to be yourself, and you don't have to be like anybody else. And the second thing that really touched my heart was remembering that everyone has a unique path and journey, and the way that we get there, we can either do it our way or God's way. And usually God's way in my life and in a lot of people's lives is through the fire and through suffering, and how to be able to think like Christ in the midst of suffering, so that you can actually get through the fire and not stay in the fire and come out still thinking and on the right path in the journey of God.
I enjoyed this session, my first session of session number 2, and I was impressed with Donald's knowledge, and also I like his idea of not copying, because God made us all unique. We're all special in God's eyes. So when we try to copy, as Donald mentioned, we're imitating others and going to our full potential and not not giving what we should do using our talents, but we're trying to pattern other people's talents which are not ours, fitting to us. So simply, as Daniel says, be original and find your calling, your talent, and work on that. That's my take for tonight.